I was like, man, I wanna have a little tussle with Aaron. I want to see if this got some like rocks to him or not. I don't know how they train you in the cult to like online trolling and back and forth. And
I didn't know you had such thin skin, bro.
Hell no. I like it. I was like, oh, he's saying we're doing the name doxing. Okay, let's do this, Aaron. I'm ready for it.
All right,
You
there's
got some answers
one thing
for me?
one thing I want to say. It has come to my attention, and I believe it to be true, that one of the people that you've called out as a bad actor is indeed a bad actor. And this is just I seem to have evidence of this. I seem to have people who've admitted it, and I've had nobody who's denied it. And that is whoever the hell this Ellie person is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to the best of my knowledge, in the Chatathon fundraiser for the SPTV Foundation, some fake 86 GOP profile kept putting up comments like, I just donated $5,000. I just donated $9,000, right? And I announced afterwards that it was just over $8,000 that had been raised. And Ellie went around spreading this conspiracy that we were like intentionally underreporting the money that had been raised, and like the rest of the money had disappeared, and where'd it go? And they're lying and they're a fraud. And that this person, Ellie, who nobody knows and is a moderator on a whole bunch of channels, this person, Ellie, behind the scenes was running around telling people that the SPTV Foundation is a fraud and don't support it, all based on a couple obviously fake comments on a fundraiser. Now, let me ask you this. What kind of a nonprofit lies about underplays how much money they've raised? If you're going to, who flexes by pretending they made less money than they really raised? It doesn't make any sense. So on the one hand, you have someone being stupid on multiple levels. You have someone being stupid on multiple levels. And then you have someone running around being vicious and evil with their stupidity. Okay. Now, I just want to say that because that was something, there's a lot of things that can not ever be proven, but whenever you find something that can be proven and you go, okay, look, D.O.A. was calling out this person, and this person was actually doing some bad shit behind the scenes. And when you find out that shit like that is going on, like Ellie could have asked any number of people who actually would have known what they were talking about, what this discrepancy meant. And instead of actually trying to find out what this meant, she decided that she knew what it meant. And she went running around telling people, don't support the SPTV Foundation. It's a fraud.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that on the record.
She's causing a lot of division within the community, a whole lot of division.
And I got to tell you, when someone who really has nothing to do with this community is running around behind the scenes trying to sow dissension in this community, that is the definition of a bad actor. Okay.
I agree 100%. I agree.
Now
100%.
I'll tell you about 86 GOP. I know it's not legally doxing to say someone's name, but the problem is, and by the way, the photo you put up in your thumbnail is not even the right photo. You got the wrong profile, by the way. Okay. You should know that because you and I
that's totally hit.
That is not him. That is not him, Scott. That's not him. But no, I know you think that I'm just saying this to throw people off the scent.
Hold on.
That photo is not him.
I couldn't have doxed. If it's not him, then how could I have doxed him?
The wrong guy. No, it's the right. It's the
wrong name completely.
No, it's. I'm just okay. We'll talk about. I'll explain to you what I mean. You have the photograph of the wrong guy.
Okay.
But here's what I was going to say. It's not whether you legally doxed him. It's that he's a guy who has been providing a lot of support to the protesters. The Scientology didn't know who he was.
Agreed.
It's not that you doxed him legally. You turned his identity over to Scientology so that they can fair game if they want to. That's not cool.
But he gave his phone number and stuff to the lawyer of Scientology. There's just some things there's some discrepancies with what's going on and what he's saying, Aaron. And that's what the issue is here.
Okay. If you're saying that he's already given enough personally identifying information to Scientology's attorneys for them to know who he is, I can't vouch for whether that's true or false, but if that's what you're saying, okay, then the severity of the crime is not as severe. But I don't know that that's true. And I don't know that you know if that's true.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I was only told
Okay.
that, so it's just hearsay.
Okay. And okay, the other thing I wanted
I
to
don't
say is
hold on. I don't. Just so you know, I'm a clickbaiter, and the 86 funding SPTV was just strictly clickbait. Just so you know,
okay.
and because I know that I watched the fake 86 donation thing, and I wanted. I mean, it's all about getting people talking about it. Even the
That's fine.
drama brings attention to Scientology. I just want you to
And
know that.
and I don't mind saying this. Since the foundation was created, we've probably raised about $50,000. Nobody that I know of has donated more than $1,000, and that would include anybody, including 86 GOP.
Beautiful.
And the thing is, when I see 86 GOP doing super chats and all the live streams of the protesters, I go, "Who cares? That's great. Is it? Don't we want everyone to be able to make a bit of money doing what they're
Absolutely.
doing?"
Absolutely.
So,
It
to
was it was it was all of a sudden the money came with strings and influence,
who's what
and
strings? What strings?
it was for the bad act. It was on day 4 of the occupation. Specifically, it was day 4 of the occupation of keeping Pinche Becky in the camp and keeping Matthew the Great there and putting him into rehab. And I had serious issues with both of those, specifically Pinche Becky handing out meth pipes and needles.
Let me ask you a
And
question.
yeah, shoot.
I keep hearing about the pipes and the needles, and
Yeah.
I haven't had anyone. I said, who got a needle? I haven't heard anyone say one example of someone actually getting a needle or a pipe. Why do we
Yeah.
keep talking about needles and pipes? No one talks about ever having seen a needle or a pipe.
Well, we had Chi in here who saw Greg with a meth pipe, and I had a meth pipe at the U-Haul thing, and
Wait,
Becky showed.
she saw a drug addicted homeless man with a meth pipe? Oh my God.
Yes,
What?
yes.
What
I mean,
was was
I,
it his pipe or what did
it was
Becky
a
give it
pipe
to him?
from Becky gave it to him. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
it. That's the
Why do
issue
we
I
have a
was
bunch of
having.
drug addicted homeless people at the camp?
Well, that's a good question, and that was something that I was trying to fix, right?
I don't
And
know that inviting a bunch of homeless people to the camp is consistent with having that experiment last for a long time.
well, it was supposed to be a homeless. I mean, yes, absolutely. It was supposed to be a camp for the homeless. There were supposed to be tents provided for them, and Pinche
Okay, now hold
Becky
on.
misrepresented herself.
Chi Chicana is in the chat saying, I did not say that I saw anybody give him the pipe.
No, she didn't say that. She said that he had the meth pipe.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And so look, here's the thing.
I'll tell you what. You could believe Pinche Becky. All right. If
I don't believe or
that's
disbelieve anyone.
yeah.
I just when I
I'm
hear
just
when I
telling
hear
you. Yeah,
no
go
no
ahead.
no no. Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's one thing someone said to me today, and that made me think about everything that was happening a little differently, right?
Yeah.
Because I keep hearing about Pinche Becky. What's the problem? I don't know what the problem is. And then, okay, I'm a little discombobulated here. My train of thoughts are a little out of order.
The problem
So,
is she was handing out meth pipes and needles, Aaron. That's the problem.
well, I think she
really
was
that simple.
capable of handing out meth pipes and needles.
I mean, she is obviously capable. That's what she says. She does it. She has the certification to do it. But where the truth goes from fiction to reality is that she did hand out a needle, and she did hand out meth pipes. And
who'd she give a needle to?
She gave a needle to Greg specifically, and that's the tent I saw the needle in. And so that is where the issues really arise. So you don't have to believe me.
And she claims that she didn't. I don't believe or disbelieve anyone because I wasn't there.
And so she wasn't a protester. She hasn't been a protester up to that moment. She was just there to hand drugs out to the homeless, which, looking back, is a horrible effing idea. But she represented herself as an independent harm reduction specialist, the only one in LA, which it's not reality. There is no independent harm reduction specialist in LA.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. Is it your belief that Pinche Becky was sent there by Scientology to create trouble? Is that your belief?
I believe she's a bad actor. Who sent her there? I'm not sure.
I mean, look, no one's sending bad actors into the camp other than Scientology. So is it your belief that she was sent in to intentionally create harm?
I'm not sure if she's just a useful idiot or if she was sent in to cause harm. It appears with other streamers who also seem to want to cause harm that are all attached to Ellie. See, we have Ellie attached to all these people, and that's where the shit really hits the fan, because you got Pinche. She's a mod for Pinche Becky. She's a mod for Rib Guy. So there's a bunch of people that are there, and they're talking. These people are in other streams talking about slashing tents, saying that the protesters are lazy. So there's a whole lot more going on that not
Okay.
everyone might be aware of, right?
Is it possible? Is it possible that because the thing was not ahead of time, staffed and scheduled appropriately, that what you
Absolutely.
wound up with was the people who were willing to show up? And this is actually where I started to have a problem with when you started going off on people, because I go, dude, they're the people who were willing to show up. So is it possible that what you wound up with was people who were willing to show up, who had maybe desires, ideas, intentions, suggestions that simply weren't in line with what you wanted or with what would have been sustainably workable over the entire time? And it was just people working at sort of cross purposes to each other. It wasn't someone intentionally trying to do this or intentionally trying to do that. I'll give you an example. I've heard of and I've seen a video of Aja's video saying Pinche Becky was like cross-contaminating chicken with vegetables and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does that have to be some intentional effort to give everyone salmonella, or could that just be someone who's being a little sloppy with their cooking and is embarrassed that they're being shamed about it?
Absolutely, that's definitely possible.
Okay. And
yeah, I know a lot of people want to take my words and say that it was all OSA or Scientology, and it could be. That's all speculation. I can't tell you what their motivations were. I could just tell you what they were actually doing, and some of these people couldn't even boil water, and so yes,
I want to know who couldn't boil water.
Rib Guy.
I wish I knew who Rib Guy was. I just don't know.
Rib Guy it's a big part of this conspiracy, Aaron. You're missing
I just don't know.
You're missing one of the main fucking characters in this whole bad actor series. You know who was working with fucking Ellie, and Ellie's back to Ellie being the bad actor. They're influencing them.
But here's where, in my opinion, it does become important whether something is viewed as intentional or accidental or incidental, because by the time you start saying that the main problem that you started having with 86 GOP is when he started insisting that that Becky be allowed to stay in there. Well, one of the only reasons that was a big problem is because you thought Becky was like some sort of intentional agent provocateur. But if she was just someone who simply wasn't on the same page as you were, like, all I'm saying is it seems like to me like you were starting to respond to people like they were intentionally trying to destroy things instead of like, look, it's just not working out that great.
Well, yeah, there was about 6 or 7 incidents with Matthew the Great, from coming up to a lady who came in the bull bait. He came up aggressively behind the car, which a lot of the restraining order specifics are very specific about not following some to a car, and he did exactly that. He pulled a shovel out of the golf cart when the police were there at the Scientologist. He broke a sprinkler. He stole stuff out of a pickup truck when they took a sign from him. We specifically said no honking anymore because that is something that happened with the protesters. Matthew went and put up more honking signs and more stuff, so it was making it unsafe for the other protesters to be there because of these bad actors. And yeah, so 86, when it became a problem, when 86 started trying to get these bad actors, and it was just simple to me, man. Becky handing out pipes and needles, whether you believe it or not, that was the big fucking serious issue.
I totally get it. There's someone, so David B in the live chat says, Aaron, the protest was not for sale. Simple, really. Yeah, tell that the protest only happened because 86 GOP put up half the money. So stop it with the protest wasn't for sale. Okay. And the fact is, the thing wasn't staffed appropriately
Yeah.
to be able to last a week, much less a month. And
Well,
so
we
the
were
thing is,
supposed
though,
to. There was supposed to be people there, and they didn't. They turned out to be lazy, bad actors, and so the people that we were depending on being security and depending to be there weren't there. So yes,
okay,
absolutely. So it's very
totally.
hard to plan.
Now, I think it's worth
And
mentioning
so
and acknowledging that without a doubt, Scientology's agenda and game plan on this would have been to, and they probably did. And you've either figured out who they are or you don't even know who they are. There's almost no question that Scientology would have figured out how to send people in to somehow screw this up from the inside. So I'm not
yeah,
trying to say,
absolutely.
hey, you're so paranoid. You should be paranoid. I guess what I'm saying is, by the way, in my video, when I was talking about burning bridges, I wasn't talking about with me.
Aaron, I fucking I live for this shit, man. I love that you even said that, Doc. I was like, oh, I'm coming back on a live stream, and we're gonna see if this guy can tango or not.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna let this go. I see someone in the chat going, so does Aaron
Get it out,
support
man.
86? No, listen.
No, it's
Someone in the
hey,
chat.
it's good,
So does
man.
Aaron
This is
support
good.
86
This is good.
D.O.P? So many of you guys are acting like a bunch of hypocrites. You want to say that the protesters should be supported, but now you want to turn on a guy who's been supporting the protesters. Like, pick a fucking lane and stay in it, okay? You can take super chats from someone and tell them to go fuck themselves if you want. Like, just because someone sends you money doesn't mean you're beholden to them. Just stop it. You know, so many people in this community send super chats and they send Amazon wish lists. And I don't know what is 86 GOP has just been one of the guys who's been one of the biggest supporters financially of the protesters. What is there to criticize? I don't understand.
I think that well, for me, one of the big things for me was he didn't want me to show the tunnel pictures until he did a ground penetrating service. So,
but at most he's telling you what he wants, what he would like. What he's not. He's not. You can just say no. Like, what's the big deal?
Yeah, that's. I mean, are we not allowed the Mike Rinder? You call out Mike Rinder, right? For being a bad actor.
Question anyone you want, but
exactly,
it's healthy. But calling out someone who's one of your current, present time biggest supporters doesn't make a ton of sense.
Well, he was trying to get Pinche Becky in, and I got Pinche Becky and Sir Corruptus trying to get felony charges on me right now.
It's
Corruptus, whatever. I don't. I make up my own language here, Aaron. I'm hiding out. I'm in a manic mode right now. I'm burning fucking bridges, building bigger bridges, and just trying to piss everybody off just to have drama. It's just about me.
By the way, you guys who act like I'm sucking 86s, you know what? He doesn't even go on my live chats anymore.
You get a little worked up over here, Aaron.
Well, I hate hypocrisy. Okay, I hate hypocrisy.
I agree.
And
I do too.
Everyone wants to love the people who support the protesters, but for some reason we're trying to hate on the guy who's done it the most. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. There's one thing I wanted to say. When I talk about, for example, not picking sides, if it was just you on one side and Pinche Becky on the other, we wouldn't be having a conversation. I don't know Pinche Becky. I've never met her. I know her from my live chat. Here's where we wound up in a problem. When you started saying that Denver J was somehow a bad guy, and I go, I love Denver J. Denver J was holding it down in Denver by himself. He was getting arrested. He was getting staff members arrested. He traveled all the way to LA. I'm not going to get on board with which protester do I like more? If protesters are doing a good job and you do a great job,
we're getting back to Ellie again. We're getting back to Ellie, but
Aaron. You know that Ellie's not working for Jay anymore, right?
Well, just as of like today in the last 24 hours. But
or yesterday or whatever.
Yesterday she was with him, and today he's not. But
okay, I'm just saying.
But
what's done is it's done.
The common denominator. I know. I'm just saying that the common denominator is Ellie. You know, we're
seems
back
like
to that.
Ellie
There's
is
a bad
a
actor.
huge. It seems like Ellie is a huge
Yes,
troublemaker.
We've given her way more time than we should ever fucking give this mod of nothing, who doesn't do anything for anything. Well, can I ask you a few questions since you're here? Because because there's been protesters and I've been doing it too. You're not going to be able to not look at chat, are you?
Laura's in the chat saying I'm pregnant.
That might not be the real Laura.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
So there's been people saying that the SPTV found, because we've had a bunch of SPTV Foundation gear, stickers. Someone made a whole crocheted sign, and people have been saying, some of the streamers have been saying that SPTV, if you blow, SPTV Foundation can help. Can you clarify what? Because I know you haven't even gotten the status yet with whatever. Could you just clarify and what maybe your plans are? Because I've had these questions, and since you're here,
the answer is this:
you would love.
This is not a new thing. It is a continuation of what I was doing, running the Aftermath Foundation for the last 6 years. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're not doing something brand new. It's the exact same thing. Okay. Now, when I was running the Aftermath Foundation for 5 or 6 years, my answer to people go, how many people have you helped leave? I say, you know what? Every single week, we are helping people who are leaving Scientology or have already left Scientology. And beyond that, we do not give numbers. We're always happy to, the financial records are released annually. I did just say that we've raised about $50,000 since, well, the incorporation date was January. I don't think, was it March? It was around March that I think we started raising money. So the other answer to your question is we help them in literally whatever way. The idea of having our own brick and mortar apartment building, that's the worst idea ever. Because then Scientology would just stake that place out the whole time and find out everyone who was leaving. So the answer is literally anything. If someone's just trying to get home, we'll fly them home. If someone is, let's say if someone, needs police intervention to get their travel documents, we'll help coordinate with police and even the FBI to get them the travel documents so they can get home. Someone needs to get back to the country.
And that's so through that phone number, someone is going to answer that. And then
the phone number's just there because people like to talk about a phone number. Like someone who actually wants help escaping is not going to use the phone number. It's okay if they do. It's not. By the way, because you guys put the phone number everywhere, we're just inundated with tons of spam phone calls. So go ahead and use the phone number. No, people are going to
No, I mean, this is, I like you say this.
People use email. Okay. People use email. And
would you
yes,
prefer,
we're not answering
protesters?
We're not. No, I think it's funny as hell for you guys to put the phone number out there. But, we just get 100
I'm just
spam
curious.
phone calls a day.
Everyone's been doing it. And we've all just kind of blindly been doing it. So I tell you yesterday, I was just like, fuck, I need to ask these questions because I'm blindly fucking doing it too. And like, is there even someone answering the fucking phone calls? It's a
voicemail, and
you ready to go?
It's a voicemail. It's a voicemail, and even for the Aftermath Foundation, it was a voicemail for the entire time I was running the place. I do believe they've started having someone answer the phone. It's a total waste of time. So you guys can put out the phone number if you want. It's not a problem. I'd rather you guys put out the email address, to be honest. It's easier to scan through spam emails than it is spam voicemails from all across the country. That rings.
Well, I'm glad we got clarification.
That rings
on that.
To my damn cell phone. Okay.
Fair enough.
And so yeah, it ain't all a big emotional deal.
I think that was productive.
Any other questions?
I think I'm good. Anybody else? Anyone else talking shit in there or what?
I don't know. Is anyone starring comments? Oh, it's only a Detective Aludo all the time.
It's just me. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You guys got any questions for Aaron? Yeah.
Look,
Thank
honestly,
you for coming on.
There is a way for. Yeah, my pleasure. I think there is a way for an occupation type protest.
Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen again. All that money didn't go to waste. It's all sitting there. It's just waiting.
There's got to be a place for people to
2.0 is going to have.
where Scientology can't interfere with people's sleep, there's got to be a place for the people who are working the camp to actually go and get a good chunk of sleep. I don't recommend
Yeah,
having
I
it be a
think that's
homeless
super important.
camp unless that was part of the strategy to prevent the
I
LAPD from
agree.
clearing it away. Was that it?
Well,
Was that the
that
reason
was some
it
of the
was
strategy.
half homeless
That was
camp?
some of the strategy, but adding the drugs into it was what was the really bad idea.
Yeah. And let me see. Inappropriate heifer wants to know, have I thought of applying to a foundation for straightening my pinkies?
The chat's a little wild. I don't really have any mods in here, so you got some crooked ass pinkies.
Well, they're straight when they're straight, but then they go crooked when I try to do stuff. I don't know. It's weird. I'm told it's Viking DNA or something. I don't know, you guys. Okay. Anyway, that's all. This was fun. I'm glad we
Thank
could
you,
chat.
Aaron. Yeah, I want to battle again though through our stream, so it's fun.
Absolutely. Let me know next time.
All right. Thank you, Aaron. You have
All
a great
right.
night.
Bye, guys.